Hello and welcome to Wheel Route Fantasy Football. I'm Kev Wheeler. I will be hosting a NFFC live draft tonight, and I'm not really ready, but the game has started. The game has begun. So let's take a look. Where do I even have my draft room? There we go. Get that together. First round, I'm at the back end. One of the fortunate things about NFFC is you kind of get to pick your draft preference. I think they call it KFC lottery, something or other, and you set your draft preference. So, given ADP this year, I have mine set so that the 12th pick is my first choice, 11th is second, 10th is third, so on down the road. I would much rather be at the back end of the draft this year than the front end. Ooh, I got snagged there. Ginty and McCaffrey are gone. And Achan. Oh, wow. Running backs are flying, that which isn't too unheard of in these drafts, but this is rather the reason I like the back end of the draft is because you have these running backs sitting there just waiting for you. I'm gonna have receivers coming around the turn. Um, I'm gonna reach on Derrick Henry just because I know on the way back I can get Neighbors or Puka or Brian Thomas or Nico Collins. Actually, I have now above those guys. Um, Neighbors with the little injury issue. I believe it's a shoulder. I think last night I said it was an ankle or something. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna reach for Henry, which would be Henry. I think I have ranked 15 or so. But given the running back kind of given that running backs are going way ahead of about 6 spots ahead of where they normally are from Ginty. I guess McCaffrey is about right at 9. But Achan is went a little bit ahead. So the guy at the turn goes Puka and Neighbors, which is pretty fantastic, right? Um, but I'm gonna get Nico at this turn. And I actually have a pattern of drafting Nico in the first round and Derrick Henry in the second round. So that was kind of my plan there. Um, I pushed Henry up just because I knew one of those receivers would fall. I like Nico Collins as much as, if not better than, some of the uh, well, I like Nico Collins as much as Neighbors and Puka, but Puka has an injured Stafford, which shouldn't hurt him too much. Jimmy Garoppolo is just fine there, um, and should be adequate if that's. I don't get me wrong. I think Stafford's going to start the season. Stafford has a history of playing injured. He's one of the toughest quarterbacks in the league. Um, but if we get later in the season, oh, this is the first time I can hear that. Hold on 1 second. Let me change these speakers. Better. Okay. Um, hopefully that's not too loud and music in the background, but I feel as though when I listen or when I'm streaming, especially when I'm drafting, I have long pauses at times. So I definitely want to. I want to set the. All right, the overlay is there. Uh, All right, just want to make sure everything's set. I was kind of scrambling towards the end there. Um, Around 7 o'clock, I realized that this draft did fill, and I didn't update my rankings. Hadn't had updated rankings from last week, and there's been a considerable amount of news. I wanted to go through some of that news with you, but didn't quite work out that way. Um, I also want to pull up little tool I have in the background. I like using the Fantasy Pros draft assistant. Oh, I got to be ready because this is third round reversal. I just like using the tool so I have a frame of reference with what I'm picking and what's left out there. I can't upload my rankings into the NFFC. I can do it manually, but that's a whole nother set of frustration. But let me get this set. Where are we? All right. So I'm on deck. I'm looking at possibly one of the quarterbacks. I did that last time though. I have Josh Jacobs as a possibility. All right, no longer a possibility. Rather than go with one of the I could go with Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill or Trey McBride. That's really my choice here, I believe. Could do T. Higgins. No, it's McBride or Tyreek. Pretty deep. PPR. This is a tough choice. I really think Tyreek Hill can be a difference maker this year. But you know what? I'm going to go with position scarcity there a little bit. I feel as though wide receivers in general are already falling in this draft. Didn't see where Brock Bowers went. Let me have this over here now. I want to adjust this so that I'm not squirming and stammering. All right, let me get that there. Sorry about that. Yes, I should have been more prepared for this, and especially considering we're on a live stream. I don't think there's anybody quite watching yet. Although I just want to have something on in the background just in case you are. Let's see what's going on. Let's get the volume down there. See what's going on. All right. Cool. All set. Hopefully we'll get a couple people in here, get a couple people in chat saying a thing or two. And you know, especially at the end of the video, if you're watching this on tomorrow or whenever, it is Thursday night, July 31st. If you're watching this at some other time, or you know, if you're watching tonight, certainly comment. But the comments after the videos are posted are more important. And be constructive. Well, criticize. That's fine. I really don't care what you say. The comments feed the algorithm. It would suck if you gave me a thumbs down. I'm just getting started with this, and I promise you, it's a lot more difficult than it looks. When you're not going off a script. I rarely go off a script. Tomorrow, I hope to present you the news of the week, updates, and kind of go over my rankings. And I need to update my full rankings, whether it's best ball or redraft. A lot's been going on, and I haven't been able to update that a whole lot lately. I've had my spare time, I'm drafting constantly. So there we go with Joe Burrow early. So I haven't really reviewed what's been going on in the draft. The first kind of 5 picks were quite normal. Justin Jefferson is starting to fall a little bit. Jahmyr Gibbs is starting to come up a little bit. And Barkley Barkley, because Gibbs come up, Barkley falls. Usually, I think right about now, Jefferson and Barkley are flip flopping here. Yeah, Jefferson's been going as late as the sixth pick, just because of news of a hamstring. Hamstrings scare people. I think Minnesota's just being cautious. Although I am letting the dip happen so that I can scoop up value on that dip. The first round, you really want to adjust the ADP. Now, the curveballs here, as I said before, at 7, Ginty was taken. 8, Amon-Ra was taken. Christian McCaffrey at 9 is normal. A-Chain at 10 is normal. And I pushed up Henry, as we talked about before. And then after that turn, Brian Thomas goes, Bowers goes. So Bowers went a little bit earlier than I've seen him go lately. He's been going 18 or 19 lately, kind of after that London, AJ Brown, and even McConkey. Chase Brown went early in this one. All the running backs seem to be getting pushed up, although Jonathan Taylor's fallen again. I think Jonathan Taylor ought to be, well, certainly ahead of Chase Brown. But I think I have him ranked right behind A.J. Brown, but ahead of Lad McConkey. Garrett Wilson got pushed up a little bit there. Bucky Irvin goes to the right spot. Kyron Williams goes a little bit early. Not really surprising, though. And then we had Josh Jacobs go before my Trey McBride. Let me start to look a little bit at what I want to do. Where the heck did I just put? There we go. I want to get that over there. All right. So my current kind of rough, unrefined, unfinished rankings looks like, all right, looks like I have got Worthy, Totoro McMillan, or Jaden Daniels here. I think Tet and Worthy are certainly going to make it around the turn. Where the heck is Worthy in these rankings? Did Worthy just went 2 picks before? So I do like the 45-second clock here. It kind of gives me time to talk and think. I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels. I really don't want McLaurin on the turn, but it's either Tet, McLaurin, Pickens. Tet, McLaurin, or Pickens. That's tough. I think normally I would take McLaurin. This is saying, wait, McLaurin makes trade request. Oh, he is being a whiny little bitch. Looks like here, NFFC, NFFC ADP in the draft room. Just to give you overall ADP, said Derek Warren, Powers, a correct ADP. I mean, probably take all of the drafts from Mark. I was saying last night that the proper ADP so high, I'm going to grab I need to check how much I have roster. I'm quite positive that I hired the first option. I have to pay but it's worth the risk. I don't see him more 30% target there in that Carolina offense. So 150 targets, maybe, as a rookie. And he's got the talent. You know, I don't want to say he's the best pure receiver in this rookie class, but with Travis Hunter, Travis Hunter plays both sides of the ball, so he hasn't had time to define the skill set. So we'll see. But other than Travis Hunter, as a pure wide receiver, I expect him to be the best in this rookie class. So we went Tet McMillan there. All right. I'm going to keep Terry McLaurin and George Pickens in the queue. Where did I leave off before with the picks? I think I got to my Trey McBride pick. After my Trey McBride pick, both the top end quarterbacks go, with Lamar going ahead of Josh Allen. I wonder if there's somebody out there listening to me starting to draft Lamar ahead of Josh Allen. I can't say it's all me for sure. There are plenty of people with Lamar ranked higher than Josh Allen, but all year long, I've been seeing Josh Allen go before Lamar, and I just shake my head at that. But yeah, in the NFFC, quarterbacks generally go earlier. Oh, I didn't even realize that Jalen Hurts went before Jaden Daniels. That was the money. Or no, he went right after. So my Jaden Daniels pick, Jaden Daniels would not have come back to me. So if I did, any of those receivers first, I wouldn't have had Jaden Daniels come around the turn. So that was a smart move by me. As you can see, Patrick Mahomes going in the fifth. Quarterbacks go early in NFFC drafts. It probably has a lot to do with 30 rounds. The NFFC is 30 rounds. So what happens there is everybody's getting 3 or 4 quarterbacks. When everybody does that, it pushes the quarterbacks up as an entire group. I'm a little bit surprised. I guess the tight ends are going right around their same spot. I do a lot of underdog, which is 0.5 PPR. So the early tight ends aren't quite as valuable, especially because when you draft, say, Bowers or McBride early in underdog drafts, you're betting on severe, extreme touchdown regression. You're betting that all of a sudden, they're going to go from 1 or 2, or I think Bowers had 4 touchdowns, to double digits, which is distinctly possible. But that is the bet you are making when you draft them in the second or third round. In PPR, it's a whole different story. Bowers gets, what do you have? 112 receptions last year, I believe it was, 140 some odd targets. And McBride was right around the same area as far as targets. And McBride is tearing up camp. He's getting all kinds of good reports. I'm happy with that McBride pick. JSN going at 305. I still think that's early. Mari Hampton. I moved him up in the rankings beforehand, but it didn't count for my view at all. I gotta make sure he's a little bit higher. I don't know if I would have taken him over McBride or Sam, but let me take a look at the draft assistant. A draft assistant has a whole lot of wide receivers because, running backs really took off. So, no, I'm not sure I would have picked. I could have gone running back, but I would have hoped that RJ Harvey came back. Joe Nixon, round 6, pick 7 is just, that's nonsense. Actually, let me. I wish I could lower the big stickers that pop up. But I would love a running back here, but there's just not. Chris Olave. I'm up to wide receivers available to me. And there goes Pacheco. I mean, the only running back that's even close is Pollard or David Montgomery. I'm just going to pile up the wide receivers. I'm going to go with Chris Olave first. Been a lot of people talking up Olave lately, and he's set to be absolutely fantastic if he can stay healthy. The brain freeze. I'm just looking at who's next. I'm looking at either actually seventh round. Seventh round, if he even makes it back, I might go with David Montgomery in the seventh round. The talk is that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to pick up right where he left off, and David Montgomery is going to play a role, but it's going to be reduced from previous years. Then their head coach, can't think of it right now, the biting kneecaps guy. He said, we're not going to forget about Montgomery. He's going to be a vital part of our offense, yada, yada, yada. So it's either Travis Hunter or David Montgomery. And I know wide receivers are just going to be available to me. I love Travis Hunter as a pick, especially. There he goes. Okay. Makes my decision for me. Hopefully that guy was watching and I talked him into that. I'm not in love with the David Montgomery pick in the seventh round, but the way running backs are going in this draft, and I don't have much Montgomery. And if he picks back up where he left off, well, that's a gold, right? But I still expect him to get a couple touchdowns here. He could still very well be in the double-digit touchdown range. I don't think he's going to have the year he did 2 years ago when it was 20-some-odd touchdowns. But in the best ball, he'll have some spike weeks, or I expect him to. I hope he will. And just the choices. The only other choice I really had in this range at running back is Tony Pollard. And if Tony Pollard comes back, which there's like zero chance of, I will grab Pollard as well. But after that, there's a cliff at running back. And actually, technically speaking, David Montgomery is probably on the other side of that cliff. But we'll see. We'll see. I just know there's going to be plenty of receivers when I come back. And I'm way behind on where I was in the draft. I was still stuck in the third. I was deciding whether passing on Omari and Hampton in the third and fourth, the 3-4 turn was a mistake. But I don't know. I kind of like my McBride Daniels. Maybe Hampton instead of McBride, because then I could always have gotten Hawkinson in that into the sixth round there. I like Hawkinson this year, especially in a PPR. There goes Pollard. All right, so in the third, after Hampton went Devontae Adams, then Tyreek Hill. Wow. He just slid and slid and slid. Is that right? Yeah. And then T. Higgins, he slid a little bit too. All these receivers are sliding. Marvin Harrison at the end of the third. That's where he should be going. James Cook a little early, I think. Joe Burrow way early. Mike Evans right around the right spot. Mike Evans, DJ Moore, I like that spot for them. I like that draft spot for Kenneth Walker. Although Breece Hall, maybe I should start to pick the middle picks first because values are falling. And I have Breece Hall right after Omari and Hampton still. A lot of people don't. I got to stop my ums. I got to train myself there. I listened to myself last night and was like, Sorry about that. Hopefully the background music drowns some of that out. In the fourth, it was Kittle, Metcalf, Rashee Rice. I think that's too early for him. Chuba, I think that's too early for him. Worthy, decent pick. Jameson Williams, I had him in my queue. Then I got Daniels. Then Hurts went. Hurts got stacked with Devontae Smith. I think Devontae Smith in general is being drafted later than he should be, but he pulled Devontae Smith up for that stack. That's a smart one. Was it 2 years ago, 2023? I won, or I didn't. I came in fourth in this tournament with a Hurts, Devontae Smith. I think I had AJ Brown and Goddard too. I think I had the whole team stack. But I got it. I got Hurts in the sixth that year, and Devontae Smith I think was after him. So yeah, that was gold that year. And I'll come back. I left off at my Tatori McMillan pick. I will pick that up in a second. I want to look at what is available, and it doesn't look like a whole lot. So I'm looking at Jacoby Myers, Stephon Diggs, Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden. Just want to kind of queue them up. The Diggs go there. Stephon Diggs has been creeping up in ADP and hence creeping up in my rankings. It's early for Shakir, I think. Jaden Reed has been moving up. There goes Jacoby. So I have a choice of Golden or Diggs in here. Diggs still has a Q tag, but he has just in their ADP. So in the draft room, the guy at the corner is, probably looking at the same draft room I am. Maybe he has a whole, maybe he has his Q stacked or players ranked by hand. But in this draft room, it has Diggs ahead of Golden. Mark Andrews is there too. I'm going to take Diggs. I need to see the board, kids. I could stack Diggs and get a quarterback here too. Drake May is there. Yeah, Golden, Godwin, Downs, Higgins, all wide receivers. Mark Andrews. Drake May is the next quarterback. 2 running back. Oh, Jordan Mason. That would have been the pick. Yeah, let that one slip. Do I want to go Golden or May? Golden or May? Could go ahead with May. I just feel like wide receivers tend to fall here for no real reason. It is PPR. They shouldn't fall, but let's take a look. So, I probably should have gone with Golden. He is the end of a tier, although I do have some tricks up my sleeve. And I'm pretty solid at quarterback, so I can kind of risk it the rest of the draft and pick one of those guys. I'll get a third quarterback. There goes Golden. I'll get it, but there also go 2 other quarterbacks. Most of the good selection of quarterbacks is long gone by like the end of the 11th. So I kind of didn't want to risk what I would see on the way back. And on the way back, I would probably have to reach or I probably wouldn't draft quarterback. And maybe in that 12th and 13th or 13th, 14th, I would be reaching for a quarterback I usually get in the, very late rounds just to fill in a third quarterback. Now with Daniels and May, I don't really need a solid, consistent third quarterback. I can take that big ass dart throw. Mark Andrews, I would have liked to come back with likely out till at least likely is probably out for a week or two of the regular season, or even if he comes back for the regular season, he's got to get back into football shape. So Andrews is going to start out the season super hot. And in this, there is no playoff. There are no playoffs. So week 1 counts as much as week 17. So we want the players, or grabbing the players that start out strong, but we expect to fizzle, is absolutely fine in this format. That's why Alvin Kamara tends to go higher, and some of the other veterans, especially running backs, tend to go higher, is because, yeah, they might be injured later in the season, but we already have their early season points, and we can back that up with some rookies late, and it's 30 rounds, so you'll have 7 to 9 running backs by the end of this. So you can take those gamble shots on players that are going to get injured. $30 rounds really goes a long way to nullifying injury risk, I should say. Better way to put it. All right, let me get my queue set up a little bit better than I have it. Let me see this. I am looking at Tyrone Tracy or Scadaboo in the 10th. I wouldn't mind either one of them. If I can get one of them, I think I will. Just one, though. Everybody's been real high on Scadaboo lately, talking me into them. I'm really kind of undecided on where to go between Tracy and Scadaboo, if they even make it to me. Let me look at my tight ends, too. Tyler Warren, David Njoku. And my receiver. Who just... Christian Kirk. And we're in the 10th round already. So, here... We're in the 10th round, but quarterbacks are way pushed up. There goes Tyler Warren. There are tight ends late. I have my early tight end. I kind of would like 1 or 2 running backs. Receivers are here too. Like, look up and like, man. All right, so Cooper Kupp goes. Scadaboo goes. So that leaves me. I'm going to take Tyrone Tracy. We shall see. I mean, even if Scadaboo takes over, Tracy's still going to get some run. Maybe I'm wrong. But that's what I was left with, so I'm not terribly mad at that. I do have Ayuka's sitting there. But I'm really worried that he's going to spend 6 weeks on PUP. Pittman's kind of the drop-off. I do have a sneaky play that may not be as sneaky as it once was. Really kind of torn. Actually, I do like Keon Coleman, too. Let me see. Yeah. Or Jaden Higgins. I am on the clock. Jaden Higgins is way down in their ADP. Pittman is right there. I also have, if you've watched me before, you probably know the wide receiver I'm thinking about. He's been my sneaky play that I've been able to get a little bit later than this. And I'm going to bet on Pittman. I think he's a quality receiver. The quarterback situation is, that is the other guy I could have gotten, Njoku. I had him sitting there too. Sometimes you just get a blind spot. It's a lot going on trying to explain what I'm thinking too. But that might have been a boo-boo. Well, I have a few receivers that are kind of sitting in my queue, and if they come back to me, which they might, I feel good about it. And all right, so I didn't have the chance to really. Did I mess up? And I'm way behind on where I, was talking about what I was talking about doing, but I think I've been going over it periodically. Debo went in the 6th before my Olave pick. That would have been nice to have stacked Jaden Daniels. Going to stack Daniels later with some darts. May I got stacked. That's fine. I can double stack him too. Pitts is going earlier. With the Mooney injury and good reports about Pitts at a camp, this is probably where he will be going for the rest of the year. Kincaid a little bit early there too. I don't know how I feel about Kincaid. But I'm not sure where I left off. I kind of skipped through a bunch. Fields going in the 8th. That would have been the other one. If I didn't have Jaden Daniels, if Fields is going in the 8th, I have to remember that. Because I'll just grab him in the 7th every time. And that way I can skip those early quarterbacks. Wow, Dallas's kicker. Yeah, there's team kicker and team defense in this if you haven't played in this before. But I still try to get 3 of each just because it's 30 rounds. And plenty of studies have shown that any of the onesies, you're going to optimize the onesie position with 3 from that spot. As a general rule, you want 2.5 for every startable position. 2.5x for every startable position. But you can't draft half a player, right? So look at team 6. 3 wide receivers, 4 quarterbacks. I guess Stafford and Rodgers are like half a quarterback. So yeah, I don't like that at all. All right. Where do I go here? Let me think. I still have those receivers in the queue. Let me look at my rankings. Update. Yeah, those 3 wide receivers, couple running backs, couple tight ends, but I can get them later. Where am I? I'm 1 pick away. Yeah, the wide receivers that I was looking at before are still there. Kraft goes. I'm gonna get my tight ends later. I'm just gonna pile on these wide receivers. I'm gonna get my guy first. Luther in the 12th. It's probably earlier than he actually has been going. There's still a couple other wide receivers here. So how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I might grab one more wide receiver here and call it a day. 7 wide receivers is very few for 30 rounds. But I'm gonna have to pile up my running backs and hear that Javonte Williams in the 13th round, probably gonna be ah, pass up the receiver in my queue, cross my fingers the possibility that grab on my queue. It probably just I feel so behind my running back. When you got in this round for me, before Javonte, I was a good backup, but I guess the chance and that if you're that concerned about McCaffrey being injured, don't draft him. Just get Garendo. I mean, the 10th is super early for him. Or the 11th, whatever round that was in. That's insane. But Garendo goes, Ray Davis goes, who is another handcuff there. This is people grabbing handcuffs like crazy. Tajay Spears, I like that in the 12th. Tajay Spears in the 12th. I would have considered Tajay Spears ahead of Javonte Williams. Jaden Blue went before Javonte Williams. It's maybe I need to pay more attention to Cowboys reports. I can't imagine that Javonte isn't going to get the first opportunity when the season rolls around. Yeah, Jaden Blue, they've been saying good things about lately, but it's kind of probably to make up for the comments last week where they said he was lazy. We'll see. Ayuk in the 13th. Ayuk was another one. Because there was still Ayuk, it made me pass up Higgins. So maybe I should have locked up the wide receiver there and just called it a day. But I'll probably get two more wide receivers. I'm pretty solid there. Nico, Ted Olave, Diggs. I'm not really that safe at wide receiver. I definitely need two more wide receivers at this point. And even if I had gotten Higgins, I probably would have been. Well, we'll see. Ooh, Hunter Henry went. That I was hoping he would slide to the 14th, and I could grab him there. Darn. So the tight end room looking kind of thin, but we'll see. We shall see. Ooh, okay. So there goes a wide receiver that I would feel very good about. How many of those left, actually? Wide receivers are mostly dart throws at this point, but 30 rounds, there's plenty of room for wide receiver dart throws. There's also plenty of room for running back dart throws, but I'd have to grab some of them early. I'm hoping this wide receiver that I'm eyeing up falls so the Broncos defense is going on the 14th. In the 15th is really when I start looking at kicker, and I probably should just kind of. It's team kicker, so it's not that big a deal. And really, after Dallas, the kickers are kind of a crapshoot. Yeah, I won't be getting kicker. Well, and I wait as long as possible on defense, but I still want 3 kicker and 3 defense, so I kind of keep them in mind as to might want to. Oh, let me look at my quarterbacks. Yeah, I got. It's gonna be super early for the night, but Hmm. Tight ends are flying too. Oh, what did I miss? Oh no. Ah, Kyle Williams is what I wanted. Damn it. Oh. Would have been a nice stack. I would have felt really good about that Drake May pick had I gotten Kyle Williams there. My draft assistant has a bunch of garbage, bunch of slackers. I'm going to take a gamble here, and it'll go right along with the Pittman stack. Anthony Richardson, and I'm done at quarterback. Yeah, between Daniels, May, and Richardson. And I know it's very early on Richardson. I probably should have waited until the next turn. But kind of the way quarterbacks flew off the board. I mean, Jackson Dart went in the 12th. Aaron Rodgers, straight garbage, went in the 12th. There's still, what was there? Shuck and there's Milrow late, which is I could have gotten, but likely goes. Jalen Wright goes. I really should start to really just kind of reach for some running backs, but I'm gonna wait until the next turn, see what happens there. A little risky there, but I'm gonna stack Jaden Daniels with something. Gonna grab Zach Ertz there. Just stacking. Just always stacking as much as possible. Let me look at my draft assistant here. A couple running backs, a couple of okay, I got another option at receiver. That is right. Where is he? It's getting good reports out of camp. Yeah. Okay. So I know the wide receivers I'm still eyeing up. Running backs, I'm kind of just going to queue up anybody that I think has some sort of potential value and just kind of smother the position. I do have a couple wide receivers that I have my eye on, but I don't want to give too much away here. Even though not many people are watching. All right. What do we got? Mike Gesicki's the other tight end I was kind of looking at. I went with Ertz strictly for the stack. I probably should have looked at, all right, bye weeks are fine. I do like Gesicki this year. I think he's going to have a good year. Let me think. Where was I? I kind of lost getting you all the picks. But after my Ertz pick, we see the Eagles defense go. Not too worried about defenses yet. Braylon Allen in the 15th. Pretty solid pick. I really don't have much of them, though. I'm super high on Breece Hall. But I've been hearing chirps that they're really going to cut back. It's going to be like a 60-35-5 split, which is great. 60% of the touches for Breece Hall would be great. But I kind of worry that Braylon Allen's going to get the short yardage or goal line, which would cap Hall's upside. Nick Chubb went after Braylon Allen. I think he's just washed, but in the 15th, I guess that's not bad. Xavier Legette after that. I only like Legette in the stack. I talked about Gesicki. Demario Douglas went That was one of the wide receivers. I was like, ooh, that would fit perfect. Oh well. Actually, if I thought about it, I would have gotten Douglas instead of Ertz if I had seen that there first. Oh well. Okay, so running backs. Let me just look. Damn. I gotta stop looking at the guys I really want. Ooh, Jaworski, JCM goes at the 15-12. He's been climbing up, and I need to pay attention to that. I need to move him up in my rankings. I really wanted Roshan. Was hoping he would fall. Ugh, feeling way behind a running back. But, I mean, look at the receivers that are going off the board. They're kind of like Josh Palmer. He always stares me in the face, and I don't find him appealing at all. Although, looking around, these running backs are a little bit slim pickings here, too. All right. I guess there's nobody in the draft watching, so screw it. The running backs I'm looking at are Austin Eckler. I guess it could be Miles Sanders too. Bashard Smith. Haven't heard much about him. Will Shipley. They're all kind of. Yeah, I mean, I don't expect anybody to be starters. They're all real values, and questionable whether they'll get full workloads in that contingent value. Hodge Brooks, Woody Marks. Okay, so that is what I need to focus on. But their ADP in the draft room is much different. So you kind of got to search. What I have to do is get in here and set up my rankings properly so that I'm just drafting straight off my rankings. And actually, I'm going to be doing another one of these drafts Sunday and Monday and Tuesday if they fill. So Sunday, keep an eye out. I want to load my full rankings into here, so I'm just not even questioning what's still out there. Michael Wilson's a good pick. Blake Corum before him. I don't have a lot of Corum. I just, in the I guess in the 16th round, that's a fine pick. There's that Jaquez Hunter too. I had a lot of Jaquez Hunter early. Was it pre-NFL draft or maybe right after NFL draft? But it probably the Hunter Corum could nullify each other if Kyron goes down. They love Kyron. They're going to give Kyron all the touches. They're going to give him all the touches he can handle, but they're going to work the other two in, I would imagine. So I'm not really high on any of them. Romeo Doubs was the other wide receiver I was kind of keeping my eye on. And what do I want to do? So, as far as the in-draft ADP, there's really none of the running backs that I like that are kind of really high up. I guess in position. Oh, no, this is a stack too. Yeah, I'm going to go with Austin Eckler. I know Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt is probably emerging over Eckler, but I would imagine they will use Eckler. Use as much of Eckler as he has. And then is their target out here. Might be a little bit of a around years, but for the positive impact, I feel better about the whole fitness, which is kind of lifestyle. Making a big impact on Minneapolis, have to go off. Here's the thing. If Richardson starts, even he will probably end up in the lineup. Maybe, maybe. I have a small part receiver, on the map, maybe, but it's starting to look like I never understood why defenses go be so in any form. I just don't get it. Just most of the defenses go before, it's a kicker, and I think it's so much more important. The defenses are so random. Kickers are far more predictable. I guess with team defense and team kicker, I mean the team kicker, it's a little bit different, but I maybe I need to look at it. So scoring overall, it never made sense to me, but that's the way it goes. So I kind of when you're in a draft, kind of have to go to a little bit. I like the yin and yin and yang, the cut against the grain approach. I can't even think of what I really want to say, but zig and zag. That's what it is. So zig when they zag. That's a great approach, except what you do, like, so if I went with kicker, which I think should go before defense, I might only end up with one or two defenses because they would be long gone. So you can't really fight what the draft is giving you. Let the draft come to you. Understand positional scarcity. It's a lesson in economics. Drafting is economics. You have to be able to identify scarcity, grab those resources while there's still optimal players out there. So the team in the one hole has the right idea. It's just doing it super early. So like if they waited on kicker, they probably could have gotten the Cowboys kicker at least at 16 instead of 11. That was a massive reach. And defenses are starting to go. And the closer I am to the ends, the more I like to kind of double click a position like that. Let me just look. I do have 5 running backs now, although that is a scary running back room. But the options that remain aren't exactly stellar either. So let me look at these defenses. Maybe look here. I don't necessarily want that. Let's look at ECR real quick. For kicker and defense, I don't have solid rankings in there yet. Yeah, I'm going to have to bang out 2 defenses here with them flying off the board. And there will be a third that I can grab. It'll slow down after a certain number. Probably after I double click defenses, you'll see a string of positional players or kickers go. And now normally if defenses, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 defenses gone, means there's 17 left, and I want to get 3 of them. I have to double click. the position. It's just they haven't really left me much of a choice. Oof, and there aren't many choices at defense remaining. So let's take a look here. Um, I have some old standby teams that I really like and have done me well throughout the years that I just kind of, ooh, all right, my pick. So just as far as their draft room ADP goes, Rams, Bears, Commanders. I'm gonna go with the Patriots just because there's only two teams with the same bye week left, the Giants and the Panthers, and I really don't want those teams. So, and that's really when you're talking bottom half defenses, you just want three different bye weeks, um, and you kind of don't want to cross over. So the Rams are the next in their ADP, but there are one, two, three other teams with their bye week. And I just don't want to be stuck in a spot where I got to grab a really crappy defense because I'm stuck on bye weeks when I could have gone Bears too, but let's see. So I have a New England stack. I want New England defense. I'm between the Rams and the Commanders. Or I could go Bucks. And I'm not very keen. Let's so points. Last year points. Rams were 135. Or is that projected point? Can't really tell. All right. Darius Slayton's a decent pick in best ball. I have a Commander stack. I'm gonna go with the Commanders. What the hell? So maybe I didn't necessarily need to double click defense there, but let's see. I just on my next turn, I'm hoping for one, and I'll probably grab a kicker or a kicker as well. Just kind of see how that goes. Yeah, not a lot of position players are going to go in these next couple of rounds. A few, though. Deontay Thornton went the pick before me. He's been getting a lot of buzz and really over Jack Beck. We'll probably never know how it's pronounced. He might be nothing. I hope Jack Beck ends up taking over because I have him in a few dynasty leagues. And I grabbed him a lot early. And then we see Jaden Royals moving up. Jaden Royals in the 17th. Really, really good pick. Oh, no, that's the 18th. Really good pick with Rice out and just kind of... The Chiefs are always scrambling for that next receiver. I'm really high on Marquise Brown, but he's always getting hurt. And Worthy is tiny. So, Jaden Royals, I do like that pick quite a bit. Looking at just kind of what defenses are left on grab, I'm very glad I double-clicked on defense. I mean, the defenses that remain are pretty rough, but I will grab one of them just because you always want, in a 30-round draft, you absolutely want three at every onesie position, at least three at every onesie position. I'm never going to go more than three at defense or kicker, but I want to secure that. And although kickers aren't really going at this point, I still want one at this turn. I think I want one at this turn anyway. Ooh. Ugh. Well, sorry. I get a little cringy at certain players, but when you're drafting a team kicker, you don't have to worry about the prejudice of the player, let's say. Marshawn Lloyd in the 20th. Man, I have so much of him. And then I stopped for a while because he was hurt again. And then he was back on the field. So I was psyched and I started drafting him again. And now he's out again. It just, the guy can't stop hurting himself. His body apparently isn't made for the NFL. Not everybody's is. It's sad. It really stinks. Marshawn Lloyd, from what I'm told, from what the touts say, had tremendous talent and really could have pushed Josh Jacobs for that starting role, or at least a split backfield. Shame he can't stay healthy, but what are you gonna do? All right. So for defenses, what am I looking at? I have 12 and 14 bye weeks, so I don't really have to worry about the bye weeks unless I'm get stuck with the Panthers. So I might grab a kicker beforehand. Actually, I should really grab this running back. Although, yeah, he's buried in their ADP. Did he just go? No. There's a running back that is. Oh, he's not that buried in their ADP. And he's been. Man, decisions. Strategically, I should go defense kicker, but there's a running back. That I'm going to risk the kicker. I'm going to grab Woody Marks. I don't believe Chubb has much left. Even if Chubb does have something left, I don't believe Mixon is really healthy at all. I believe Mixon is, well, unless they're just playing games and resting him till the beginning of the season. But regardless, Mixon's had a bad ankle for quite a while now. And doesn't really seem like he's very eager to play in general. So, to me, it looks like a split backfield between Chubb and Woody Marks. Woody Marks gets the receptions. This is PPR. That's my bet. So my choice here is Bengals defense, Raiders defense, Saints or Titans defense. Kicker. I really need to go defense. I'm just gonna go. I'll go Bengals defense. What the hell? The Bengals defense sucks, but they'll be in shootouts. So maybe. Giddens was the other running back I had in my queue. I was really looking at, but no go. All right, so just queuing up a whole bunch of kickers or team kickers. Oh, there's a lot of good selections left, and their ADP really doesn't have much rhyme or rhythm to it, as far as I can tell. But we'll probably end up with some kickers on the way back. So, what players went in these rounds? In the 19th, after I double-clicked, Calvin Austin, who cares? Will Shipley is one of the running backs I had in my queue. Would have been a really nice pick. I would have liked to have him. Uh, Elijah Arroyo, tight end, moving up boards a bit. That's the other position I kind of got to keep an eye on. Tight end. Ooh. All right. I didn't have that scrolled up. But yeah, it's very thin selection left at tight end. Yeah, it really is. Tight ends sneakily were flying off the board. Or not so sneakily. I should have noticed when I was drafting Ertz in the 15th and Gesicki went right after that. Yeah, Noah Fant going in the 17th. He didn't. Oh, wait. Did Cincinnati sign Fant? Ooh. Well, that hurts Gesicki. I'm glad I didn't end up with him. All right. Okay. I mean, it hurts both of them. All right. Arroyo, Dalton Schultz, Tim Patrick. None of the Diami Brown, decent to stack with. Then we saw Taj Brooks. I would have liked, but I'm happy with my Woody Marks. JD Giddens, I would have liked. Wicks, he may not even be on Green Bay. Higbee goes. Deontay Johnson is a heck of a pick. I would have liked that, but I am locked into a couple of kickers coming up, so I'm just gonna have to cross my fingers that a couple of my guys make it through this tight end run. Jawan Johnson went. Darren Waller, I think that's a mistake. Miami's got to get themselves a tight end, or they're not really going to use. I mean, they might use Waller. But Waller, there's no way he stays healthy for 16 games, 17 games. Jatavian Sanders would have been a nice one to grab. Trey Tucker goes there. I do like that Tucker pick. Justice Hill would have been a decent pick, but I wouldn't really want to stack him with Henry. I think if y'all have been watching me, you know who I'm going to stack with Henry. Or it's not stack, Cuff. Stack Cuff. Because I do believe Kate Mitchell will have value, but I am locked into a couple kickers here because it'll be my first two and don't want them to fly too quick. What the heck? Even though they tush push and score touchdowns. Nah, do I want to go there or there? I'm going to go with, they have a week 8 bye. I'm going to go with the Eagles. There's literally one team with a week 9 bye left. And they're going to put up points. And they have a tougher schedule this year, so maybe not as many touchdowns, maybe more field goals. They won't be blowing teams out, so we'll see. Or they won't be blowing teams out as much. Well, I guess blowouts would give the kicker points, but then there's like 5 teams with a week 8 bye, but for the next 5, I'm hemming and hawing here, aren't I? I really don't want Buffalo kicker. What the heck? Yeah, I don't like cold weather kicker, but I'm going to have 3 of them. Might as well get it on a high-powered offense. And that just frees me up because there's no other week 7 buys. So I really don't have to worry about bye week when it comes to kickers. Pretty safe there. All right. So running back, tight end. Actually, I wish there was a flex tab here. Go to my draft assistant and just look. Let's take a look at what other position players left. So I left off with Justice Hill. Kyle Monangai. Been getting hyped up lately, but the Kyle Monangai doesn't have any pass catching to his game, as far as I know. And he's a plotter. He's a plotter. He's like a 207 pound, maybe 211 pound, like let's say 210 pound plotter, which I don't know if works in the NFL. It will work in college, not the NFL. We see Jalen Coker go and Devin Neal. I do like Devin Neal, especially with the potential of Alvin Kamara being traded at some point. I was drafting a lot of Devin Neal pre NFL draft and maybe a little bit right after. But as we started getting more. Actually, I stopped drafting Devin Neal after the draft because Kendre Miller all of a sudden was a thing again. Whew. Man, I gotta stop making the same mistakes early every year. But Adonai Mitchell, I wouldn't want another indie receiver. I'm good with Pierce. I grabbed Pierce really early then. No, but there's a gap between the position players because of the defenses and the kickers going. So it is what it is. Jalen Tolbert, I liked drafting before Pickens got to Dallas. He could still have some value, especially in 23rd round. That's fairly safe. All right. I am looking probably at just one more wide receiver, two more running backs, maybe a couple tight ends, one more kicker. So I have kicker, tight end, running back, receiver, and a couple wild cards. So it might be 3 running backs, 2 receivers. Or no, 2 tight ends. 2 tight ends, 2 running backs. 2 receivers. Yeah, that's probably the move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3-8-9, 4-3-3 build. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. All right. And I got a couple ways to go here. All right. Ooh, those kickers disappearing. But that's why I had to double tap the last round. I played it right. Definitely need a kicker. Where's my bye weeks are 7 and 9. The only teams with a week 9 bye are the Jets and the Browns. Hopefully I'm not that desperate, though I very well might be. We shall see. There's two team kickers I don't mind grabbing here. Let's see, after Tolbert, Komet went, Ray McLeod, Harold Fannin. I need to move him up in my rankings a bit. I do like him as a rookie. I have him on a bunch of dynasty teams. Patriots is really the kicker I wanted, but I will go with the Panthers kicker and lock that up. Okay, so tight end. There's a couple there. Do I want a tight end or running back? Really, I only really have one running back in my queue, but he should last. And there's others there. Oh, Michael Mayer went, huh? Do I want? Yeah, I'm just going to go with Theo Johnson. Although it's a week 14 bye, so that no, I'm safe there. Okay. Yeah, he's a starting tight end for the Giants, so I feel good about that. I could actually, mm, I don't have to go with a fourth tight end, but there is. I'm only going to grab the fourth tight end. There's actually two out there that I like, and I'm just going to focus. Actually, I should bounce back. Are there any wide receivers? There definitely are wide receivers out there, but nothing that isn't a dart throw. Keenan Allen is at the top of their ADP right now. He doesn't have a team. It's dust. Oh, Hopkins. Yeah, Hopkins if he's available. I'm actually going to move that up to the top of the queue. I look I Manor. I like Tyler Lockett in PPR. He's being overlooked. And then there's a couple others that are deeper, that are not bad plays that I see a deep one. Jermaine Burton sitting back there. All right. So there are options at wide receiver, although if Hopkins comes back to me, I'm going to grab him. Quick look at the players that have gone. So I kind of left off in the 24th with Kareem Hunt. Elijah Mitchell went. It's a good pick. Jordan James, I would have said is a good pick, but apparently he has something bothering him. He's day to day, which shouldn't matter much. But when you're a rookie and you miss a couple days, it really sets you back. And he's just fighting for the third running back spot anyway. See Raheem Mostert go. He's too old. He's dust. He had his time. He was a really good special teams player and then had that year with Miami. So good for him that he's still playing. Michael Mayer, I do like. I don't expect Vegas to trade Mayer. I think he wants a starting role somewhere. So it's a possibility, but I think Vegas knows what they have. And they have two incredibly strong tight ends. I expect Mayer to get a good amount of run. Tyler Shuck going. That is super late, like 25th round. I kind of got to keep that in mind. Although they're talking about Jacob Hanner making starts and just all kinds of nonsense. Alexander Madison, trash. Antonio Gibson, done. Kendra Miller, done. Miles Sanders is a good pick in the 25th. I like that one. Just steady Eddie. I mean, Miles Sanders in the 25th or Javonte Williams in the 13th. God, Javonte Williams was not the smart move there. Daniel Jones, no. Even if he is the starter at the beginning of the season, I don't want to. Sean Tucker, good pick, 25th round. AJ Dillon, I don't think so, guys. Aronde Gadsden, I like. Ty Johnson is actually a very sneaky late round pick. DeAndre Hopkins goes. Tyler Lockett goes. Jalen Naylor. I think I drafted him in the last one and looked up his stats and was kind of surprised at how not great he was. He seemed better than his stats show. So, but we'll see. Wow, wide receivers are really depleted. Wow. Meh. There's a couple sitting back there. Not too bad. Actually, let me look at my specific instead of. Yeah. All right. We're getting to the bottom of what I have set. But so I have three really. Where's that other run? There you go. The running backs I want are pretty two tight ends from, but I want to run. I'm gonna at least one running back here. Oh, so Ollie Gordon was my next in queue. I'm gonna go with my guy Keaton Mitchell. I have him on almost every draft. Um, not every draft, but like my. Ooh, that reminds me. I need to check my underdog too. Maybe I'll do a few slow drafts with you guys. Active. All right. I'm safe there. So I'm going to grab my sneaky tight end here too, Taysom Hill. Hey, man, he could end up playing quarterback too. And if he has tight end eligibility playing quarterback, that's going to be a nice boom to my tight end room or my flex even. So I was like kind of grabbing Tyson Hill super late. Ben Sinnott was the other tight end I was looking at. I probably could have waited on Ertz to see if he fell. He probably would have fallen past Otten here in the 16th, where I got Eckler. But what are you going to do? And then, all right, so what I'm really looking at to end this, I have 7 running backs and 7 wide receivers. I'm going to get one more running back. There's no quarterbacks here. No, what's Jalen Milroe just went a couple picks after Taysom Hill. If I didn't get Anthony Richardson, I probably would have waited all the way until I might have grabbed Shuck. Well, maybe I wouldn't have made it. If Shuck was going in the 24th, I would have jumped on Milroe. I think he has kind of him and even Cousins have kind of a decent chance of putting up starts this year. So whenever I grab a 4th quarterback or a super late 3rd, which I probably could have done here, it's just gone super late with it. Either way, no big deal. And actually, what I could have done is skip Anthony Richardson. Maybe, I don't know what I've gotten there. Like, there was no choice of running back. I'd just gotten sniped on Kyle Williams. Right, yeah. Not sure what I would have done differently there. There's really no, like, I mean, you can tell Anthony Richardson went and then Russell Wilson, and then there's like 6 rounds before another quarterback gets taken. I think I was right doing that. Maybe a little bit early, but what are you going to do? Not too displeased, but I want one more running back, and I'll probably do 2 receivers. Question is, the heck is left at receiver? I know there's only one running back that I'm really eyeing up that's left. And I guess there's some receivers here. Let me look at ECR too. Elijah Moore. Keishawn Butte is part of a stack. May not be horrible. Luke McCaffrey is part of a stack. May not be horrible. Washington wide receiver. Noah Brown just went. Literally just went. All right. Jermaine Burton was the other wide receiver that I probably could have, should have, would have maybe grabbed instead of Taysom Hill. But I mean, when Tyler Conklin and Will Disley are going, somebody was eyeing up Taysom Hill. Had to be. Would have liked Noah Brown. Would have liked Noah Brown, but Devon Bailey is still high in expert consensus ranks anyway. I like DeMarcus Robinson, but I'm probably gonna move Elijah Moore up quite a bit. Oh, that was my other guy, Alec Ayamanor. 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 Let's go with that. I heard people talking about Tesla today. Some booty. I like getting booty. Sneaky athlete. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna try to get my run back here first. Really one I really like. If there's a second one there. I don't want to say the name. I feel like I'm gonna jinx it. Even though, I'm gonna get my guy. Two picks for my guy. Yeah, actually, Malik Willis not a bad quarterback in the 28th round. Got to remember him. Devon Bailey, thank you for taking him. I do not want him, but he was kind of staring me in the face. Trevor Etienne, Ben Gretsch really started promoting, hyping Trevor Etienne, and it's just like, why are we waiting until the 28th round for Trevor Etienne when we are drafting? There's rookies that were drafted right around the same draft spot as Etienne. We're drafting. I think Etienne was drafted before two. He was drafted right after Jacksonville. All right, so I have a choice here. I'm stuck between Cavante Turpin and Elijah Moore. Dallas has Cavante Turpin in plans. Cavante Turpin is likely to return. Yeah. Um, and there's a couple others that I mentioned already. Well, probably over Howard, but he's got a shower and quarterback. I only blank when I'm on camera. I promise. There's not even anybody like astutely watching. Bo Nix. So Kurt Franklin was one of Bo Nix receivers in college. So there's always that shower narrative story lingering over them. And I believe in it. There's a possibility I might go in that direction. We shall see. I'm definitely not going Cooper. Restrepo, if I had his quarterback, I might think about it, but no. Mike Williams is retired. Isaiah Bond was all hype. Tessa is a possibility. Booty's a possibility. If I had Fields, I would. Well, no, Lazard probably won't be there. Torrey Horton from Seattle's gotten some hype. Luke McCaffrey would be part of a stack. Matt Collins would be part of a stack, but he is injured right now, which is why Booty's a decent pick. I've seen people picking up Greg Dortch. Ty Felton is also another pick that I like. So there's definitely receivers here, but they're clearly all major dart throws. And if I was a little bit stronger at, like if I had gotten Higgins instead of Javonte Williams, which probably was smart, would have been smart, I would have stopped after Pierce. I still would have stacked Pierce, but maybe grabbed him a little later. But I wouldn't even be drafting wide receiver now. I'd be drafting running back, which is probably what I actually need. But the running back selection is just atrocious. I mean, Audric Estime, Jaleel McLaughlin. Oh, Khalil Herbert is sneaky there. Luke McCaffrey did go. Austin Hooper in New England. I actually have him on a pretty deep dynasty team. I think he's sneaky. He stole a lot from Hunter Henry in the last 4 or 5 weeks of last season. Isaiah Davis could be sneaky. Christian Watson's getting good reports, but man, every time you get hyped on Christian Watson, rug pull. Roman Wilson, there's a possibility he could succeed with Aaron Rodgers, but only if he believes in some moronic conspiracy theories. Elijah Moore, that went right after Turpin. That was my decision, Turpin or Elijah Moore. Good pick. Yeah, these quarterbacks, they're purely contingent and probably won't hit a lineup even if they do get there. I think Malik Willis is a good contingent quarterback. Jalen Milrow. Kirk Cousins, he's not a plan somewhere else for the season. Or maybe Penix. All right, my pick. I'm going to go just to continue to stack because I didn't get to double stack May. I'm going to go Booty just because I like the Booty. So, my team. Hunter Henry, Nico Collins, Trey McBride, Jaden Daniels. Rainbow start. Then I came with a couple of receivers, Tatora McMillan, Chris Olave, David Montgomery. I really end up being very weak at running back. Stephon Diggs has been creeping up, and man, if he's healthy, I could have a strong running back or strong wide receiver room, and I definitely have a strong quarterback room. Stacking May with Diggs, Daniels, Richardson. Really happy about the quarterback room. We have Tyrone Tracy. I drafted him right after Scatterboo. I would have been torn had they both been there. People have been talking up Scatterboo lately. Giants fans are going to love him because he's white. They want him out there. Yeah, there's the Giant fan population is dying for a white running back. They want their Riggins like Washington had. I think New York fans were always jealous back in the 80s when Riggins was running the ball against them. But then I kind of caught the end of a wide receiver tier with Pittman, hoping for a return to what he was pre-back injury. And then I got my guy, Luther Burden. I just have him everywhere, and I say this. I feel like I say this every time I'm on camera, Luther Burden, I think, is the next Odell Beckham Jr. And then I went with Javonte Williams. I felt behind it running back the whole time. Even with the blue hype, I still think Javonte is going to get the first opportunity. And maybe there's something there. There hasn't been since the knee injury, but crossing fingers for that one. And then Anthony Richardson, I talked about, man, if he's healthy and can stay healthy. And in practice today, and it's something he had been working on in the offseason. So in the offseason, he went to work with Josh Allen's old quarterback coach. If you remember when Josh Allen, his first year or two in the NFL, he had like a 52 to 54% completion rate. And then all of a sudden he worked with this guy and he jumps to over 60%. So Anthony Richardson was working with that coach in the offseason, but then he re-injured the shoulder. So I don't know if he continued working with him or it was overworked with him, but he got the shoulder cleaned up. The shoulder looks like it's decent. And he said, or I heard this second or third hand. So he apparently said in a press conference that he knows he can throw the ball far. He knows he can complete it deep. Coach knows he can complete it deep. He needs to work on his short throws. That's what he's going to be working on. And that helps. That should help with the shoulder. Now, so I was a pitcher back in the day, and pitching is a lot different than quarterback. Quarterback is more like catcher. But there's the thing. If you follow through on the throw and just let your arm kind of dangle, that's better for your shoulder. If you whip it, which is generally what happens when you do short passes, you want to stop the hand, right? Because you don't want the velocity. He needs to learn how to control the velocity and follow through, so he doesn't continuously hurt that shoulder. If he can learn how to do that, he's going to be a lot better off. And yes, I was a high school pitching coach and football coach, so I have a general idea what I'm talking about. And I pitched in the Junior College World Series back in '92, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to maintaining your arm. All right, and enough about me. After Anthony Richardson, I stacked Zach Ertz with Jaden Daniels just because I was kind of desperate for a stack there. I was thinking maybe I could wait for Sinat. But, if Ertz stays healthy, he's a touchdown magnet and can pop into the lineup when McBride is on bye or has a down week. Then I went with Austin Eckler, and I'm kind of getting more nervous about that pick. This is the second time today, I think, I picked Austin Eckler. And I'm really starting to get concerned about the rookie Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. But then I grabbed Alec Pierce, stacked with Richardson. That's his favorite target. Went with a couple defenses, snuck in Woody Marks. I like that pick. I feel a little bit better about my running back room there. Finished off the defense, went with 3 kickers. Theo Johnson lingering in the 25th is surprising. Starting tight end, the only thing that stopped him last year was injury, so I like that. Keaton Mitchell, I like for explosive runs, even if, I'm really latched on to Derrick Henry being healthy. But if he's not, or even if he is, Keaton Mitchell should get 10% of the touches, and that might be all he needs. Really explosive runner. Taysom Hill, he has tight end eligibility, and he could end up playing quarterback. He's still under contract. They're not going to be able to get rid of him, and the coaches said they want to be able to use him just like he's been used in the past. Trevor Etienne, I talked about, kind of underrated, flying under most people's radar. Kevontae Turpin, Dallas is lining him up all over the field, and he's going to be returning kicks. Kayshon Boutte is really contingent upon if Mac Hollins stays injured, and he might have developed a nice connection with Drake May last year. So overall, not too disappointed. Was a little bit frazzled coming in, so not my best showing. but it is what it is. Whatever. Y'all want to watch me hit a couple slow drafts here, and actually I need to check Sleeper to see if I'm up in any of my charity leagues. So let me just check that before I dive into the underdog stuff. Oh, that sound I just made, I'm not a fan of when I hear other people doing it. But I guess it's pretty common. Okay, so I'm fine in that charity league. That's the Super League Fantasy Football, the NFL Now Plus.com. And I have a redraft I'm doing with Goat District. Not on the clock yet. I'm up in a couple picks though, so I'm gonna have to look at that in a bit. And then the Women of Fantasy Football charity draft. And I showed you these in my last episode. If you're curious about, so I'm in a couple charity fantasy football drafts. And you might say, well, what the heck do I care about fantasy charity? There's some really good competition there. A lot of pros and amateurs even join these drafts, I think, to play against some of the analysts, pros. I use that term. Well, pros, yes. I won't use the term experts, although one of the drafts I talked about is purely an experts league draft. You go back into my last episode, or last show, yesterday. I posted it last night. Go and take a look at that. The charity drafts, especially the first one, I go over the heavy hitters. The amount of just expertise in that draft is off the charts. I challenge anybody to find any more knowledgeable analysts than there are in that draft. I'm probably one of the weaker links in that draft, but hold my own for certain. Anyway, let's get to, I'm not up in any of my sleeper drafts. Let me get that off of there. Oh, Fantasy Pros gave me an A- 92 out of 100. Whoop the flippin' do. All right, let me get off there. I get easily distracted. It's one thing I've come to learn about myself is that I've had ADHD my whole life. I'm just old enough that they didn't know anything about it at the time when I was young. So, can be fun sometimes. Other times it's really annoying. All right, you looking at my screen here? Yeah, we got this one up. All right. What do we got? We got 2 running backs already. One of my few Josh Jacobs shares. Through 6, I have 3 wide receivers, kind of going with the Hayden Winks pattern. My next, I have a tight end, don't need Laporta. I think I only have like 2 shares of Laporta in 200 drafts. I don't like downs in this format. Oh, Laporta. Let me check out ADP. Mixon, no. So yeah, it's golden. It's golden. I missed him last draft. I'm getting him here. He fits right in. That's a nice pick. I like that. That's smooth. All right. Next one. I'm in a bunch of... Oh, that's what I wanted to do too. Before the Chihuahua 2 closes, I have 5 more so I can max it out. Ooh. All right. So what are we? 6th round here? Oh, no. 5th round. 5-10. 4th wide receiver or 2nd running back? Let me open it up so I can see. Got Ridley next in my rank. And he's fallen a bit in ADP, a couple spots. I really do like Ridley. Harvey's not going to make it back. I'm not going to reach for Henderson. Really don't have any Henderson. Who do I have? I have Derrick Henry. Half point PPR. I'm going to really like Ridley, but Olave and Jennings should be there on the way back. Let me look at my rank. Yeah, Jordan Addison. Ridley is the pick here, but as I was talking about before, positional scarcity. My next pick is 63. It's either reach a bit for Harvey here and pass up Ridley, or get Ridley and reach for Swift on the way back if he makes. He shouldn't make it. Swift or Harvey, Ridley or If I end up with Olave, I'm happy. Both of these guys already have 2 running back. The 4 wide receivers are going to go. I'm going to grab Ridley there and expect that I can grab one of those running backs on the way back. Just want to set it up in the queue like that. Like if Olave makes it back, there's just no chance Olave makes it back. But I'm glad I grabbed Ridley there. You know, I am generally of the 4 wide receiver in 7 rounds philosophy. If you grab 4 in the first 5, you're kind of overdoing it. It's not bad philosophy, but running backs have started to go earlier and earlier. So I have been grabbing them earlier and earlier, as you can see in this one. My first 3 rounds I grabbed, or first 4 rounds, I guess, Gibbs, Hampton, DJ Moore, and Brock Bowers. So I can go double receiver here. And although I have it ranked this way, oh, no, I'm in the middle of the 5th. I'll just grab Waddle. All right. I'm going to be behind at wide receiver. I'll be scrambling, but that's fine. Next 4 rounds or so should be plentiful at wide receiver. Just going to do a few more of these. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I think I'm in like 60 slow drafts right now, and it is crazy. I'll just keep going here, right? Nice big screen I'm looking at. What do we have here? Is this the same pick? Oh, Waddle, Ridley, Travis Hunter. Ooh. I like this squad. JT and Hampton, Jefferson and Pickens. I am looking at Waddle, Ridley, or Hunter. I'll go with ADP here, but I don't know. I kind of like Ridley more than Waddle. I should check exposure, but with all these slow drafts going, my exposures are thrown off anyway. I just grabbed Ridley and Waddle like back to back, didn't I? And I have tons of Travis Hunter. Let me What are the bye weeks? Yep. I have a George Pickens bye week is week 10, so is Ridley. Tiebreaker. Go with Waddle, the higher ranked and higher ADP anyway. Is this the next one? All right. It's first round of this one. We see Barkley slip into the 6th pick. I'm starting to get a lot of Barkley now that he's sliding like that. And it's just a no-brainer. All right, so 6th round. I have 3 wide receivers, 1 running back. I do not have a lot of James Conner. I'm going to grab him here. I have tons of Juwan Jennings, and I'd like to see him slide a little bit. 6th round, starting to get I guess he's been in the 6th for a while, but with his, whether it's a calf injury or a hold in or whatever, I'm just starting to feel some negative vibes with Juwan Jennings. There he is again. Goodness. Oh, okay. I had the same draft up. Okay. This draft, I already have 2 running backs and 1 receiver. Barkley and Taylor. Ooh. Devontae Adams, we gave by. I do not. I'm going to go to the draft because I kind of want to see this board. Board just gives you a better perspective if you're not quite sure where you are in a draft. All right. I just like to see who's gone and what the trend is in each round. Rashee Rice went to Torrey McMillan, Mike Evans. I still don't. I had DJ Morris to pick. That's it. I guess Pickens could have been the pick too, but I mean, DJ Moore in my head is equivalent to Mike Evans, and I feel like they are 3rd round worthy. And last night, I was talking about the charity draft. Sean Corner grabs DJ Moore at the 309, 308, somewhere in the 3rd round, so mid to late 3rd round there. And if Sean Corner thinks DJ Moore should go in the 3rd, we should all kind of be thinking more DJ Moore in the 3rd. And it sounds like they're using him it sounds like they're trying to use DJ Moore in that Jameson Williams type role. But DJ Moore is also a slot receiver, so he's more of a combination of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. I mean, don't get me wrong, DJ Moore and Luther Burden probably played the same position, but I think there's room for 2 of those positions on the coaches. Brian Johnson, is that his name? Brian Johnson's field. But then they talked about using Rome Odunze in trick plays too. So the guys on Chip Chasing were talking about it today. I think they were talking about how they might like a positionless backfield wide receiver core and just have them and tight end too. I mean, even Cole Kmet is a hell of an athlete. And the rookie they got, Colson Loveland, it seems like they could be used at a plethora of positions. So maybe we should start thinking of DJ Moore as we have in the past. Not the pouty guy that we saw last year, but the stud we've seen in previous years. Okay. Bijan and Kenneth Walker, T. Higgins, George Pickens, Trey McBride. I want a wide receiver. Juwan Jennings sitting there. Swift is there. I don't want a 3rd running back this early. 6th round. I'm going to come back really quick in the 7th. I would like to go wide receiver, but Swift is sitting there and staring me in the face. This is the end of 6, beginning of 7. I have T. Higgins. So this is one of those. I have very little Burrow because this is where he should be picked. Either the T. Higgins owner. I don't like to use the term, but or the Jamar Chase owner. Jamar Chase owner did the smart thing. You should let him go. JJ McCarthy went. I can stack Burrow with Higgins. I'm going to do it. And, I'm going to do it before the guy at the turn does. I mean, even if he ends up going those 2 wide receivers, I wouldn't mind just grabbing Reed later on. Yeah, Burrow time. I have very little of him. So, and stacking him with Higgins is opportunistic at worst. Sorry to the Chase drafter. Is what it is. Like, that's what should happen. That's the only reason Joe Burrow should be sniped is to the T. Higgins. I could see the Chase Brown owner drafting him. Meh. It's a kind of stack. And there are late round stacks with Jermaine Burton? No. Yeah, that's the name. And Gesicki and Fant now. Like I'm off of both of Gesicki and Fant. I'm glad I almost drafted Fant in a couple of those charity drafts, just thinking he would sign with Miami. But I'm glad I backed off of that. Good move on my part. All right, so that one's done for now. Let's go back. First round. 3rd pick, Bijan. Although I need to pick my CeeDee Lamb drafting up a bit. Now that he's bumped up quite a bit, I haven't been getting him. Ooh, tell me I need running back. I do not. I need wide receiver. I'm at the 8-3. Where's Shakur? He gone. There's Coleman sitting there. Is that ADP? I wanted Jordan Mason. I have very little Jordan Mason. Not going to go with Pittman or Kupp. Keon Coleman is a reach. It's a massive reach. I doubt he falls to me coming back, but you got to take that risk. Yeah, I'm really behind a receiver, but that's not going to stop me from drafting Jordan Mason. I need more Mason. I can make up receiver late. My running rack room is 2 rookies. Not that Mason has a lot of experience and he's often injured. I just don't have a lot of them. Should have him higher in my ranks. Taking a risk there, hoping that I can get some sort of receiver on the next, a couple of receivers on the next turn. I hope I don't get a sneezing fit. If I do, I'm going to immediately sign off. Whew. All right, so going through my slow drafts here. What, first round? Oh, there we go. There goes a CD share I can pick up. Although Justin Jefferson falling. I have a bunch of Jefferson. I need a little bit of Lamb in my life. I'm going to go with that there. And I'm getting to the 7 hour clocks. As soon as I get to the 9 hour clocks, I think it's already past my bedtime. But summer school ended today, so I got nothing to wake up for tomorrow. Yippee! The only thing I got to do tomorrow is mow the lawn, do some other yard work, and redo my rankings. If you're watching, please like and subscribe. Need as much as I can get. And tell your friends, tell everybody you know, hey, he's not half bad to listen to. Have him on the background. He's got a mellow voice you can fall asleep to. All right. So this one, I got 3 running backs, 4 receivers. Definitely. What do I got? I got Minnesota, Carolina, Denver, and Vegas. Ooh, Justin Fields just sitting there. Could go 5th wide receiver. Pittman and Kupp just aren't that appealing. 3 running backs is plenty. Quarterback or tight end. Oh, I could go Mark Andrews. Let's check out ADP real quick. Yeah, those 3 receivers aren't that appealing to me. So I don't have much Bo Nix at all, so I could stack him, but I just think Fields is so much better, especially in best ball. We don't have to like pick your starts with him. So it's kind of between Bo Nix and Justin Fields. And I know I'm not stacking Fields with anything, but all these receivers I do have are stackable later. Reach for Fields or draft Nix. I have tons of Fields. I have no Nix. Like 0, maybe 1 share of Nix. I really don't want to do it. I still want to go with Fields. I think Fields should be ranked ahead of Mahomes, Mayfield, probably even with Kyler. But I think so. Burrow, Kyler, and Fields are kind of all in the same tier for me. Although it's a mini tier because the tier is massive. Actually, it's probably about 12 quarterbacks deep from 5 to whatever, plus 12, 16. This is why I don't like slow drafts, is that I end up sitting here dwelling in a decision that I've kind of already made. I think the smart move is Nix. Summer school's done. Fuck my brain. Go with your gut. Go with what feels right. All right, what do I have here? Can I reverse stack in different drafts? So I started Saquon and Tyreek. I like that start. And what am I sitting at the 3-4? Looking at Garrett Wilson, Amarian Hampton, Devontae Adams. By ADP, it's Garrett Wilson. Technically, by my ranks, it's Garrett Wilson. I've been jumping the gun on Amarian Hampton. If I didn't have Barkley and had 2 wide receivers, I would probably go Hampton. Or if I had somebody that's, not quite as good as Barkley. I think Garrett Wilson should have a great year with Fields. I would like to get him a little bit later, but whatever. Went with Wilson. I have been drafting a ton of Jonathan Taylor, even when I get Saquon in the first. But I know we just looked at a team where I had Saquon and Jonathan Taylor, I think, right? I know I have plenty of those stacks. And you know what? Jonathan, well, they've both been making around the turn. I still think Tyreek has an 1,800-yard season in him. I don't think he can get it to 2,000, but I think he has a studly wide receiver season in him. Oh, should I? I wish I had this one first. I would have. So Bijan here, I'll just go grab Tyreek again. Yeah. All right. So now I'm getting a little overloaded on Tyreek. So I can start going back to the well on Jonathan Taylor if I want to. All right. Where am I? I have Gibbs and Brees. I have 3 wide receivers, but one of them is Rashee Rice. I'm good at tight end. So I could go quarterback. Could go Mahomes. Seventh round. I really don't like drafting Mahomes until the 8th. Something. And let me look at ADP. Yeah. Probably not going to come back to me, but could. So Mahomes would be my next round pick. I'm looking at Shakur, Godwin. 7th round. I am not high on Shakur at all. I only really like getting him when necessary, but actually, so I'm hesitant on Godwin with Rashee Rice. Screw it. Godwin's got the potential, like when he plays, he's a top 10 wide receiver. I'm being nice with that. Like last year in those first 8 games or whatever it was, he was the wide receiver 2. I think he was wide receiver 1 for a while, but I think by the time he went out with the injury, he left as the wide receiver 2. So if I get that at the end of the season, then this is got to change my brain format from the NFFC before to underdog now. Got to get 3/4 of this tournament is played in the last 3 weeks. So the first 6 weeks matter far less than the last 3. So I am building this team for the last 3 weeks and hoping I can get some things in the later rounds that'll help me for the first 6. All right. And I might get lucky. Godwin and Rice might be playing earlier than is generally thought. All right, what do we have here? We have the 3rd round, and I got a bunch of guys I don't particularly care for, and Omari Hampton went at 212. Come on, guys. Not yet. Let's really, like, there's a damn good chance they're just letting Najee Harris chill and giving the rookies some reps. Najee Harris has never been injured. 4 years, never missed a game. I could be wrong about that, but like if he's missed, it's like 1 or 2. He's not going to miss game. I guess we're concerned with whether he can actually see. It's the best doctors in the world helping these guys. You know, if they can make Jameson see, they can make Najee see. And if Najee's healthy, they're going to give him half of the running back touches. They're just going to rely on him at the goal line. Like, I like Hampton. I like him a lot. I just don't think at any point he's going to get over 60% of the touches. Just my take. I don't have a lot of Josh Jacobs, although I just saw him on a team, and every time I look at that team, I don't like it. Garrett Wilson, I have on a couple. I could go Chase Brown. ADP has the running backs. Yeah, Marshawn Lloyd is again injured, so let's go with Jacobs. Let's just take our medicine there. All right. How? That seems so weird. 7th round and Josh Downs is at the top of the queue. It's ADP. Good Lord. Are we starting with this wide receiver avalanche again? Wow. Maybe I'm just getting tired, or maybe I'm losing my touch, but geez. All right. Do I have no stack for Mahomes? I could use wide receiver. If I pass up wide receiver here, I can go Hawkinson. Maybe get Higgins on the way back. He needs tight end. He could go 2 receivers. What is he going to do? He will probably go Patrick Mahomes at the turn and a receiver. Hopefully he goes Downs instead of Higgins. I'm going to play with fire there, and hopefully he goes Mahomes and Downs, or doesn't realize Mooney's hurt, or really likes him, or maybe he shouldn't grab a running back. All right. I guess I could. I went with Jordan Mason already. I don't want Jordan Mason as my. I don't want Jordan Mason as my 3rd running back when I only have 3 receivers. Hope that makes sense. Ooh, I got a Daniels McLaurin stack there, and Debo's gone, right? So yeah. All right. Starting to slow down here. At least 2 more. 4 max. Gonna call this. I've been on here for how long? 2:18. It's just late for me. Past my bedtime. CMC and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Ooh, Brees. I have like no JSN. Lamar is probably. I have very little Lamar in this format. I'll have big bets on Lamar in my higher stakes. Brees is the move. Brees is the move. I'll get wide receiver on the way back. It's too early for Kittle. Like, I have plenty of Kittle when he was being drafted in the 5th and 6th. Drafting him in the 3rd just seems preposterous. JSN, I think, is a solid 4th round pick, but I've rarely, if ever, see him go in the 4th. I still think it's Brees. And I'm probably... I just don't think he's going to fall. All right. Playing with fire there. After seeing what's available in the 6th and 7th round at wide receiver, it's starting to get slim pickings. All right. Where are we? Oh, we're in the first round. It's Nico. No doubt, Nico. Oh, wait, is his ADP higher than me? His ADP he's starting to take over Neighbors in ADP. Just the injuries and the quarterbacks and the nonsense that's going on around in New York. Nico is a safer pick than Neighbors at this point. I also think Nico is a safer pick than Puka at this point. I know pre-draft best ball, I have plenty of Neighbors. I'll probably be falling behind, but I'm going to hope he slides a little bit in ADP in the next week or two. All right. Let's take a look. First round. Gibbs or Jefferson? I don't have a whole lot of Gibbs. I'm going to go with him over Jefferson. Hope Jefferson continues to fall. I'll make that up. I'll make my Jefferson up over this weekend, probably. All right. So 6th round. Olave sitting there, my 1 in Q. Ooh, I only have Hampton at running back, though. But in my rankings, it's all wide receiver. And even in ADP, there's no Caleb Johnson, no thank you. David Montgomery, I would do in the 7th. Yeah, Olave, no brainer, really. Do it. All right. My next 3 are... Oh, I only got 3 left. Right? Might as well. Addison, Judy, or Purcell. Got 2 running backs. Got 3 receivers. Going to pick relatively close. Got to keep Fields in mind. Where's Fields ADP? It's like 101 or something, right? Get him at the next turn. Although, So, question is, Addison, Judy, or Purcell? Addison probably missing the first 3 weeks. Judy, who the hell's playing quarterback, especially later in the season. Purcell, we don't know who he is. As a wide receiver 4, I'll take Addison. I'll grab either one of those 2 on the way back. Although, Pacheco's in there. Would not mind a little Pacheco in my life. Laporta, I'm not high on. Reed, Golden. Yeah, I can go with any of them. Next. What do we have here? 6th round. As you can see, I entered a lot of these at the same time. So, I got 4 wide receiver build here. And a tight end. So I need some running back in my life. Look at you, Swift, just sitting there. Double check. I saw Burrow there. If I had a Cincinnati player, I would have definitely contemplated that. Yep, Swift it is. I was going to make that was a Swift pick. Had to. Shout out to Todd Burrows, King of Puns. All right, what do I have here? 2-4-1. I could use a quarterback. I could use a running back. This is my David Montgomery team. I don't remember getting him. Oh, I'm a back-to-backer here. All right, so I have tight end. I have 4 wide receivers. Could do a 5th. Ooh. All right, so this is Cincinnati, Dallas, Chicago, San Francisco. What I like to do. Let's not do that yet. Dallas, Chicago, San Francisco. All those quarterbacks will be available at the next turn. I have tight end. I'm definitely going Jordan Mason. I've said before, I don't really have enough of them. It's a weak running back room that just bolstered up a little bit. Wide receiver. ADP are the 2 scariest dudes. By my ranks, there's Keon Coleman there. I don't necessarily need a 5th receiver here. Although, so it's really like this would be a quarterback pick. Technically, Justin Fields, it's still reaching a bit for him. Baker Mayfield. If I had a Tampa Bay receiver, I would go with Baker Mayfield. Kyler. Oh, I have Purdy ranked. But by ADP, Coleman isn't too far away. He's not that much of a reach. I do like Coleman as a 5th wide receiver. Like Mark Andrews. Dak, I'm hoping for on the next turn. I could go Caleb on the next turn. Though probably, here's the thing. I would feel very comfortable with any of the, I feel comfortable with Fields now. But I have stacks set up for Purdy, Prescott, Caleb. Feel great about all of them on the next turn. And Dak and Caleb should be there at the next turn. Dak will probably go to the Lamb drafter. So if I want him, I gotta grab him now, but it's literally 2 rounds too early. Purdy is about a round and a half early, so is Fields. But then again, so is Coleman. No, they're not that early. They're like 5 picks early. No. So my next pick is 119 and 120. I gotta look at the board. Yeah, 120, 121. I was thinking I was down this end of the board. So none of those quarterbacks are coming back to me. Normally go Fields there. I do have tons of Fields. I don't have a lot of Dak. I'm gonna go with Dak. That's a reach beyond Purdy and Fields and the rest of it, but I have very little of them. I honestly think Dak should probably be ranked ahead of them anyway. I don't like reaching that far, and it's a secondary stack, but I don't know. And that's it. That's all my slow drafts. All right. Been on for a while tonight. Hope you enjoyed the NFFC draft. I'll be back with NFFC drafts on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday as long as they fill. If they don't, I will still be back, and I'll do some underdogs or maybe an FFPC. Maybe we'll sneak one of those in, but we'll see. Check out wheelrouteff.com for rankings, both best ball and redraft rankings coming up. I really would like to publish an article about the charity league drafts I'm doing, so maybe you'll get something there. I'm going to be trying to do a lot of work when it comes to the website and streaming some drafts, trying to get to entertain you and take you on my journey. Yeah, like, and I want you to keep in mind, like, I'm not trying to give advice. I don't feel as though I've proven myself enough to give advice, although if you've been following me for a while, I do have accomplishments within the industry. My purpose in doing this has always been for you to kind of follow my journey. Like, I want to be number one in the rankings. I want in the most accuracy rankings. I want to take down tournaments. I'm showing you my process and how I'm going about doing it. And I do have one pick that popped up. So let's see. You looking at my screen? Yeah, you're still on my screen. We'll do one more pick. And this is a 3rd round pick. 302. What do I have? I have Bijan and Tyreek. Why wouldn't I back that up with McBride, right? I could do T. Higgins. I do have a ton of McBride. And for the show, we'll start the rainbow. Bijan, Tyreek, McBride. Wow, I think that is it's a very Wheeler start right there. All right. On that note, have a great night. Check me out this weekend. Talk to you soon.